So in this video, I will be showing and narrating my process for basically getting to my first few amateur fights. At this point, I've had three official amateur fights and one full contact smoker. So I've had four fights now. And when I started with sparring matches, which I'll get to in a minute, and I'm basically going to show y'all my process for how I got from basically adrenaline dumping really bad early on because I didn't play sports growing up, so it was kind of new to me. And so I would adrenaline dump like really bad. It was like my first sport ever. And I had to go through these sparring tournaments to kind of fix that before I went amateur. And so I'm going to kind of lay this out because hopefully if you're watching this and you're a beginner and you want to be a fighter, you have aspirations of getting in the ring and actually fighting, hopefully this will give you some hope because as you're about to see, I did not start super fast and I had to kind of work for my confidence and stuff. But at this point, I am 2-1, 2 wins, 1 loss. So yeah, let's get into it. So this here is an event that my gym I was training when I started basically hosted, and it's sparring matches, so it's semi-contact, it's for points, it's not like a real fight. I had 2 matches. I only have a video of one. This one here, and they're all my teammates, so everyone here was like a training partner and teammate. And so I had one match that I lost, and then this one here, we went to a draw. So my first time ever competing in anything. I never even played sports before actually. So like I adrenaline dumped super bad and I lost, and then I went to a draw. So I was like super disappointed with myself, but that's where I started. So after this, I did my first full contact fight. This is a smoker, so it's not an official amateur fight. My opponent is another teammate, so it was a cool experience. Kind of weird fighting a teammate, but we went at it. I do have a full breakdown of this fight if you want to check it out. The title of the video is just the date, which is July 1st, 2023. So you can watch that breakdown of the full match if you'd like. Long story short, I win by decision. So this is my first time ever winning. So this is my first like legit sparring match instead of against teammates like a real match. But I lost this one real bad. I lost. This here is about a month later. It's my second legit sparring match. This one I actually win. And so this is my first time winning against someone who's not a teammate. So yeah, that's my second legit sparring match. So this one's kind of a funny story because this was about 2 weeks later after that last one where I won. And this one, 2 weeks later, was hosted at the gym of the guy that I beat. And they were kind of mad at me, and it was kind of like a weird vibe or whatever. But what ended up happening was I lost. This guy that I fought had like better like technique than me, but the funny thing is I almost got like disqualified because as you can see, I was kind of trying to knock him out once I realized he was like better at technique, and I almost got disqualified, but I didn't. After that, I lost another sparring match in November, but I don't have that one on video. This is all 2023, of course. So this one is in December, and this one I won. So at this point, I had been racking up like a lot of sparring matches. Now this one is really interesting. So I win this one, but it was really hard. In fact, I would say this was harder than my first amateur fight. This was harder than the smoker. So I've had like 2 full contact matches that were easier than this. This guy, his name's Matt Kelly. Really skilled fighter, and this was like kind of a nightmare until I started winning. I had to kind of pressure in the later rounds here and take the later part of the fight and win. But early on, I was like, dude, this guy is dangerous. Yeah, this guy had like really fast hands. It was lighting me up. But this was not a sparring match. Like this was just a fight, and we had a lot of fun though. We actually would end up fighting full contact in my second amateur fight, and you'll see that in a minute. So a couple months later, I'm in camp for my first amateur fight, and I decided to do one sparring match in camp for that fight to stay sharp, and this is that match. And I won this one. This was another win. So after having a total of 9 sparring matches and 1 smoker, I made my amateur debut. This is an amateur K1 kickboxing rules match. So obviously full contact, my first official. And this was a war. This guy won the first round and then he gassed, and I won by decision by taking the second and third rounds. When he was gassed, I pressured him. But yeah, this was a really good fight. I would say I won mostly with body kicks. That was kind of the thing that brought out the strategy. Once he was gassing, I started digging into the body with body kicks. And yeah, it was a kind of sloppy brawl, but it was fun. Second amateur fight is interesting because it's, for one, a rule set that includes takedowns. So imagine kickboxing with takedowns, but it's not Muay Thai because it does include single legs, double legs, suplex, slams. You can have slam KOs, slam knockdowns. It's a new IKF rule set they call freestyle kickboxing. So it's essentially like Sanda, Wushu. It's like that. And this is the opponent from that sparring match that was a couple matches back that I mentioned. So we'd already fought in a sparring match, semi-contact, boxing gloves, headgear. This is pretty crazy because it's MMA gloves. So MMA gloves, no shin guards, no headgear, and we're allowed to go for takedowns as well. So we had a crazy fight. I was losing the fight until the end of the second round, and that's when he gassed, and then I TKO'd him in the third round. It was scheduled for 5 rounds. But this was just a war. All respect to that guy, Matt Kelly, because he's just a savage.
There you go. Good. Uppercut.
So here's my third amateur fight, my first loss. Because obviously the sparring matches don't count. So this is my first full contact loss. And I went to decision and I never went down, so I was still proud of myself. Even the commentators gave me some compliments, but yeah, I mean, it was a decent fight. It is what it is.
You have the fighter's instinct, like you remember the techniques, you remember the stuff that your coach is teaching you.
Yep, you are a true martial artist,
and you're listening to your coach. You're still doing things that your corner's telling you to do. You're not just out there wilding out.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No. Despite how much trouble Younger was in, he definitely, stuck to a bit of a game plan. Younger is durable.
Yeah, obviously he's very durable. He's not really shown a lot of reaction to many of these shots except for the body shots, and that's why Munger feels like it's appropriate to keep going back.
But Miko Younger, what's he made of?
He's definitely, I mean, like I said, we've said it before about these guys that want to actually come here and fight, but he's got something a little bit different too, which is he was hurt, he was tired, and he still had his guard up. He was still throwing legitimate technique.
Being able to stick to a game plan, sticking to a game plan while in danger is the.
So that was back in February, and then just this last April, I went to 2 sparring events in one weekend just to stay sharp as I am waiting to find out about my next fight. So here's some of those highlights.
Good work, guys. Good one.